All right, how's everyone doing? Happy holidays. It's almost Christmas. So my crazy guitar story. So this one, I don't know, this one takes the cake as far as that's concerned. So I got a new guitar, I should say two new guitars, but let me back up. One of them is not here. So let's talk about why we play guitars. And I mean, guitars are like songs. If you have any really great songs, it kind of brings back your past or certain periods of it, like when you got married, when you had your first kid, first time you fell in love, things of that nature. And then for me, my first love with guitar involved wanting to get married to this kind of a guitar, which is a Gibson ES 175D from 1980, right? So anytime you have a dream as a kid, it's always for something. So I guess some people dream about becoming, I don't know, first black president, Barack Obama or something like that. I dreamt of having a Gibson ES 175D once I started playing guitar. So I went through a bunch of different guitars growing up. And finally, I guess maybe about 8, 10 years ago, I was able to acquire this 1980 Gibson ES 175D. It's been my holy grail guitar. As I've gone to guitar shops and bought Telecasters, bought Eastmans, bought recently like Benedettos, gotten stuff made, I've always in my ear said, okay, how close is it to a 175? That was like my standard. That was like my what I judged everything by, a good on 175. So as we age, it's like a kid growing up saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't know, I'm not into cars, a Bugatti, a Lamborghini. I don't know what people are drive like that." So you aspire something. This was it, right? So along the way, I started acquiring a lot of guitars and things of that nature. And then, you read about stuff like Mansour guitars, a lot of different luthiers, Benedettos, and things like that. So there becomes this other area, carved top, and all this fancy stuff that supposedly are better in terms of craftsmanship and materials to a 175. Because let's face it, this thing is a laminate guitar and all that, but it gets a beautiful sound. So on the way, I fell in love with Tellys. All right, and I love Telecasters. I've got Fenders, I've got Nash, and I've got some stuff with like P90s, not P90s, with the Charlie Christian pickups and things of that nature. So then my next evolution was trying to get what I would term the perfect guitar built for me at some point. So my dream is that I don't want to die without trying the best guitars that are out there that I want to play. And if I have the means to buy it, I'm going to buy it, even if it's temporary and things of that nature. So, in any event, though, I thought about what I would consider the perfect guitar. To me, the perfect guitar in my mind, this was probably this, but that notwithstanding, size wise, I thought about 15, 14 and a half inches. That was after owning an Eastman T185 MX. I knew I wanted an arch shop because those are the guitars that I love as arch shops. I knew I wanted a set humbucker sound, and I knew I would prefer probably a laminate build because I wasn't really into an acoustic, um, excuse my French, floating pickup things and things of that nature. So I got this built, okay? But let's flip the script before I got this one built. This is a beautiful, beautiful handmade Sean Lombard Dozy 14 and a half guitar, lower about 14 and a half like a George Benson and stuff, right? In between that time, I got an opportunity to buy a Benedetto Bravo Deluxe. So I bought that. And I absolutely love that guitar. Don't get me wrong. I love it and I still have it. As a way of making that happen, I got rid of this baby. That's why I started off this video saying I got two new guitars, really three new guitars, but I got rid of this. All right. And it wasn't so much, yeah, I could use the money towards it, but I was just like, man, you have too many guitars, things like that. So I got rid of it and I got the Benedetto Bravo Deluxe and I was loving it and I just absolutely love it. But it's still not a Gibson. And I'm gonna get back to that. And so I got the Bravo Deluxe and then Sean finished building this guitar for me and I absolutely love it and I'm learning to play it and all that. I got that too. So I'm like, I got all these high-end guitars and I still have my Guild X500. I've got beautiful carved top like Eastman 803 that's non-cutaway. So I got some good stuff, like, and this is just the art shop thing. So I'm like, man, I feel blessed, period. I've worked my whole life, and I'm like a kid in a candy store in this place. I don't play music for a living. Done well, but I got that. So anyway, so I'm stuck with all these high end guitars, and I don't have my Gibson ES-175. Right? And I started thinking to myself, what am I doing? Right? Every guitar that I play that's electric, I A/B it, and I try to think of the Joe Pass sound, and that's the sound that I'm going after, the Herb Ellis sound. That's the sound that I was raised in, that Set Humbucker sound. My Telecasters, the Eastmans that I tried, the Benedettos, this, handmade instrument right there. And I said, well, why are you trying to get a Gibson sound when you had a Gibson like that? Why are you doing that? It's fun, stupidity, things of that nature. So anyway, long story short, I called the store back up and got my guitar back. Period. Right. And yeah, and I'm so happy. So it's not a comparison video. It's not to say something is better than another. It's just that sometimes you're chasing something, and what you're chasing, you already have. So be careful of that. Remember what I just said. You're chasing something, and 9 10 times you probably already have it. And so this is one of those things that I felt like is like a heirloom that I would want to leave my boys, like my Fenders and Martins and things like that. And yeah, and this one means a lot to me. I've had it for, like I said, 8 to 10 years. I refretted it. I know where all that, and it's clean as can be from that perspective. And I'm just glad that I was able to find this one because it was not here for about oh my god, I feel like I'm talking about a long lost somebody or my kids or something like that. I didn't have it for about, like, I don't know, 5 weeks and everything like that. And I just kept looking on Reverb at Gibson's. I was playing these guitars and I loved it and I feel blessed, but I said, man, I want my 175 back. I wanted a 175, and I was like, I want that 175. I worked on it. I learned a lot of things. This was my holy grail guitar and all that. So anyway, I'm glad I got it back. I still like the other guitar, so don't get that twisted. I love my Benedetto, Bravo. I love Sean's guitar. It just sounds absolutely marvelous. Yeah. So at the end of the day, though, yeah, you can keep chasing and chasing and chasing. You still have to practice, 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 and be careful about all this guitar acquisition. I should probably be. This feels like a 7-step program that I'm on or something like that. But you may already have what you're looking for. Put it that way. And sometimes you have to. They say close the circle. I had a law professor when I was in law school. He used to say close the circle. And closing the circle sometimes means you sometimes start where you started. That's basically what a circle is. You start here and you close the circle, you end up where you started. And this is kind of like where I started in my jazz journey and trying to play true jazz, which is a Gibson ES-175D. All right. Sorry for this long video. It's the craziness and it's my therapy. Happy, happy holidays, everyone. All right, then.